Hello everyone, this is Giles at Divergent Trading, and this is a recap and plan for the Emini S&P for June 6th. And first of all, just want to have a quick look at the longer time frame. So here on the left, we've got a monthly chart, which as you can see has been progressing quite nicely and is now holding the current monthly candle here, holding above this area of high volume, which the market has been struggling with for the last few weeks, but now we can see we've opened above this area, and if we can hold, this just above this sort of shelf, I'd say, around the 2080 level, top of here, I think we should be in for, continued higher prices from now on. And also we can see just a simple moving average has been trending higher, just to give it some momentum as well. On the weekly, here on the left, we see last week's, we did get a bit of indecision, a pretty balanced week as we're looking a sec at the daily profiles. And so far this week, we have just, well, overnight, we've just been trading within that range or upper part of that range. But there has been a pretty bullish move. We've broken out of this channel here, as you can see, this bullish candle here, and so far so good for the bulls. Now this is a weekly profile, just with a 60-minute chart, just to have a closer look inside the week. So last week we're here, we had a very balanced profile, and held mainly above this area of high volume in the VPOC from the prior week. Been pretty bullish. You can see the prior week we had this very bullish move and acceptance higher above this breakout area, and volume built higher as well. So going forward, I'd say this 79.75 to 82.50 is now a pretty critical bull bear zone. But we'll have a look a bit closer in detail. Now this is the daily chart, just to have a look at the way the balance has been forming. We look at the end of last year, we had this balance area, sold off, another balance area, and again we're back into this area up here with this around the 50-60 areas where the bulk of the volume has been trading. But now we can break above this shelf of volume. As I said, we should start to move higher. On the day session, which obviously has the gaps in here as well to see, this is the day session on a 30-minute bar chart, and these are the naked VPOCs, which are still within reach. So as we can see, gap here, and gap here, all breakaway moves. And as I say, this sort of area here, 82 down to this 80 area, this LVN here, I think pretty critical for bulls to stay above. Now last week we can see, we broke up, and then this was Memorial Day, which you can ignore, but every day we sold off, we closed higher. So we sold off, rallied, opened, sold off, rallied, opened, sold off, rallied, and even on Friday's very weak non-farm payroll number, we sold off, and again responsive buyers stepped in at the low end of this range and took us right back up again. So excuse me, as we can see, bulls have definitely got control here at the moment, as every dip seems to have been bought. I was expecting a bit more of a attempt to try and fill this gap on Friday, but there was, as we'll see in a second, internals didn't really support that move on Friday, even though we did get quite an aggressive move off the open. the market internals were not really that weak. Advanced decline, wasn't really showing any signs of trending lower or that type of move to be expected. So, so for today, we're going to be using this, as I say, as a bull bear zone, this 80-82 area. Above, we made a marginal high on Friday overnight at 2106, but and that hasn't been taken out in the day session yet, which is to be expected to happen. That was the high probability chance to take out the 2106 in the day session. So, and above there, really, you're just looking at measured moves. There's no resistance as such. It's purely measured moves, wave counts, Fibonacci retracement levels, that type of thing, but certainly no hard resistance. These were the profiles on Friday, well, for last week, but this particularly on Friday. As we can see, opened here, sold off aggressively, and again, responsive buyers stepped in, closed, moving the VPOC above the open, and in fact, value did overlap slightly higher on Friday, which wasn't really my initial expectation. But as we came down here, we can see that the market internals weren't supporting it, as I was saying. So let me close this off. So we've still got this gap remaining here. We have the recent high, or day session high, at 4.25, which we just touched overnight, and 5.25 is the current day session all-time high, and 6 is where we made the marginal high on Friday. So really looking for these levels to get taken out today, and we could see some acceleration to the upside. This is the day session daily chart, and as we can see, yeah, 2105.5 was the day session high. Once we break out of this downward channel, we can see how we've taken off and finding or pausing really here, just ahead of this all-time high. There's no sign of any decent excess on the all-time high yet, so we expect that to see some sort of excess really before we can really think about this market having made a high. Couple of measured targets here on the daily, from the all-time high there to this pullback at 22, just using the 127 and the 1618. We've got coming in at 28 and 56.75. Now, on the shorter time frame, we go here to today's zones. Now, these are today's buy and few sell zones that we've got. Main expectation is for continuation higher. We have rallied overnight. Range is 2094 to 2104.25, and I'd expect to see buyers continue to try and drive this higher on any dips. Oil has helped the market continue its upward move, having rallied from around 49 up to just short of 50 overnight. So I would expect to see market tracking that higher as well. But here we go. For Friday, we had the point of control for Friday's overnight market was actually here at around 2103.5. So this could be possible resistance area after the open. But these resistance points are unlikely to be heavily sold off. I think now we're attempting to take out the high again. I think the more times we've tried to take out the high, the greater the chances we're just going to break through it now. Above the 06 level, I've just got a measured move here at 21.12 1/4, which will be the next upside target above 06. And then up here, we're looking at 21.20 1/4 as the next measured move. So, as I say, these aren't hard resistance points. These are just measured targets. So we need to see in real time really what's going on in terms of volume. If this breakout is happening on high volume and momentum, and certainly as we approach these levels, if they do, we have to be cautious if there's going to be a breakthrough. So as I say, they're just targets more than resistance. On the downside, looking at this 99 to 2100 initial support, 94 5 1/4, which is around the overnight low, and also the top of value for this current range. That's sort of initial, I'd say, stronger support than the 2100 level. Wouldn't really expect to see the overnight low taken out today as a main thought. Obviously, news items could change that, but I would really expect us to hold. If we do start to break underneath the overnight low, then we could see some further weakness, and just looking at these downside targets, 91.92, 6 3/4, 7.5, which is the bottom of value, and current range VPOP. Now this was last Friday's low, 82.75. Wouldn't really expect that to be taken out today, given the bullish nature we've seen since Friday lunchtime, really. But we have to be prepared that if the overnight low is going to get taken out and we see acceptance below there, then these are the sort of downside targets. And I think it's going to take a pretty bad news event to get the market selling off strongly today. But if we do, these are the downward targets, and we have to watch if they are going to act as support, really depending on volume and momentum as we head into it, as we would do any zone. So that's the setup for today. So really looking for buying dips, ideally holding this 94, 95 1/4 level, and potentially if the market is strong, we should hold above the 99 2100 area, which was just the top of near the top of Friday's range, around the VPOP from Friday's day session. So there we have it. That's all for today. Thanks very much.